Good evening, everyone. Come right on in. We're going to try to get started on time. It's good to see you all. We have a lot to cover tonight. We're excited, and I hope you all are too. This is our second AI/ChatGPT session. We had one in February, and it was very well received. So we're happy to be back tonight. I'm here as a presenter and a learner tonight. So thank you all for coming. As you come in, if you would go into the chat and tell us who you are, tell us what your business is, and also if you can tell us what you expect to get from this webinar and what you'd like to see in the future. I hope what you'd like to see in the future, that some of it we cover tonight, but if we don't, it gives us some idea as to where we need to go in the future. This actual webinar came out of the first one. There were so many individuals that said they wanted to see more and hear more. And then those who didn't get to come, as we ran into them in the community and during our mentoring, they were like, oh, I couldn't make it. I'm so sorry I missed it. So we're back to give you some more information. And some people can't come tonight, but they may be here next week. So thank you all very much. We'll get started shortly.
Hey, Patty, I see Ni Nguyen is a physician. It's always great when we see folks that are in the healthcare field and, you yourself learning some new ways that GPT and AI are being used in the healthcare space. That's great.
Excellent. So happy to see that. I think we'll have all professions represented tonight because there's something here for everybody.
Yeah, AI is especially good for people looking to find their new spot in business and entrepreneurship. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So yeah, I'm seeing I'm starting a business in digital marketing. Okay, you're in the right spot.
Absolutely.
I also saw a landscaper that also just put their information in the chat as well.
Yeah. So you know what? That's landscaping is one of the first sort of areas that I put in here to try to find some new ideas for business plans. And this was in particular in Raleigh for people who were starting a landscaping business. So we did everything from the plan to, marketing strategies, the whole 9 yards. So that's great.
Excellent. Excellent. There's something for everybody. As I said, those of you that are just coming in, go ahead. Put your information in the chat. We would like to know who you are, what you'd like to gather from this webinar, and anything that you hope to see in the future so that if we don't hit it tonight, we can go back in and make it part of our next session. I see some people I know. Amy.
Patty, we need to get a DJ here next time.
I know, we say that at least every time I get on, I'm like, we need music. We need music.
That's all right.
We get them dancing though. We may not get them to sit back down.
Look at the difference in just areas of employment people. This is amazing. A hot sauce business. I love it. Insurance company. She works with breast cancer patients. Y'all, this is absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
There's even someone starting a childcare business as well.
Wonderful. And there is such a need for that. I hope that you can make that work because childcare, there is such a need. I know there's a lot of regulations that you have to go through, but whoever you are, stick with it. I think it'll work if you can make it happen. And if you're not already in SCORE, come to us and see if we can help you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started here right on time. Thank you all for coming. It looks like we have about 75 people already here. What I'd like to say is this is a webinar by Raleigh SCORE and the Shaw University School of Business and Professional Studies. And tonight we've titled our webinar, Maximizing ChatGPT and AI for Your Business. The first one that we did in February, we called it a ChatGPT Jumpstart session. And so we got a lot out of that, and we're back tonight to go just a little bit further into it. Speaking of Shaw University, I would like to say that we have been working with them since the fall of 2020. We've done 2 extensive business plan programs and other additional education units we put in together, and they have gone very well. For those of you that are Shaw alums or people that are associated with Shaw, we are so happy to have you. This program is enriched by you all being part of it. I'd like to say a special thanks to Dr. Lynette Wood, who is the professor of Shaw University School of Business and Professional Studies, and Dr. Nicole Phillips is our contact now. She is the person that's over the Entrepreneurship Center, and she and I have been working together over the past few weeks, putting together whatever seminars we will do in the fall, and we will have some education coming up in the fall that we'd like for you all to attend, and we'll get in touch with you. Tonight, Stefan Youngblood is here. He was here in February. Stefan is a multi-talented individual. He owns HireBlack.com, Black Metaverse, and Help Anyway. Help Anyway is a social services organization that he's been in for quite a while, and he may talk about that a little later. I think he did last time. He also loves domains and domain names. He really got me into that. He taught me all about it and was telling me what kinds of domains I should be looking at and what's going to be valuable in the future. So he's really good at that too. He's also a top contributor on Clubhouse.com. I think the last time I looked, he had over 10,000 followers there, and it may be more now because I haven't looked in a while. He does lots of impromptu meetings on there. So people that follow him, they see that he's on and they come right on to network with him. He's also a talented musician and composer, and he is really getting noticed for that. And there's some people that you all may know that are seeking his help. So we may see him in another arena because of his musician talents. So Stefan is going to go over and review some of the things that he went over in February. For those of you that may not have been here, he's going to go through that pretty quickly. And then I'm going to come back as a user and show you some of the things that I've done with ChatGPT to actually help me in my business. I'm going to show you practical things that I use with either my clients or for meetings that I had to have. So Stefan, if you will go ahead and start with your overview.
Yeah, I will. Hey, it's great to see everybody. I think everybody's here. And by the way, I think we just hit 100 people. So
yes,
we're stalling. You like stalling until we got to 100. I really love this, y'all. I love the possibilities that technology has brought us. We talked about AI quite a while back. And I'll just tell you that the part that started really exploding for me was November 30th. A CEO named Sam Altman, he put a tweet out and he said, here's the project, one of them that we've been working on as OpenAI. It's a company that in the early days, Elon Musk was part of. And it's basically an open source platform where all of us are able to do things that we've never been able to do before. And think of it as we have access in our phones or our computer, a massive amount of data and information that we've never had before. And here's what's really cool about it. We can interact with it in just seconds. So it uses this things called large language models where a bunch of smart computers have been taught a lot of information. We call it data training. And we're sort of building on that now. And the sweet spot in it is that this natural language processing, it understands what we're saying and is able to talk back to us in a way that we understand. So the product that he brought out was ChatGPT and a generative pre-trained transformers. That's what it stands for. It does quite a bit. So think of it this way. This is a really cool illustration. If somebody were shooting a shotgun, what they're actually shooting out is a shell that's filled with a bunch of BBs. And Google was kind of like, let me put some words in and it gives you 1 million websites really fast in 3 seconds. That's how we used to search. But now with this amount of information, it's like having a bow and arrow that you pull back and you just point directly towards a target. So we call that arrow sort of a prompt. It's a question that we carefully put together so that it'll hit right on target. We didn't have that before. The capabilities, we'll talk about that tonight. It does all kinds of things. And Patty, I was telling Patty earlier that so many things have changed just since January. So what ChatGPT and AI will be able to do tomorrow is more than today. And next week is more than this week. That's just how quick it's being rolled out. Common use cases. A lot of folks usually start with ChatGPT and they start writing stories, or they figure out how it can do business plans and just work with it in processing answers to questions that we might put out, these prompts. So everything from, poetry, somebody's done music, you can produce art with it, and it just goes on and on. I could name thousands now of case uses that people have. People are using it for legal documents and to write a book. I'm going to show you something tonight, a prompt to write a book, and every type of business plan and marketing strategy when it comes to hashtags, the whole 9 yards, it's able to do. The good, the bad. I've probably been telling you all the good, and I do want to say this really strongly that, you're probably seeing a lot in the news about AI and the potential of it, because when they put AI out as open source, it really put a lot of information in everybody's hands. It sort of took some of the guardrails off in a lot of ways that enabled a lot to happen. So right now, I think I just saw a report that came out today in the news that Washington, D.C. is working on some ideas to bring some new regulations and things. But just as a hammer can do good or do bad, it's all in the hands of whoever has it. A cell phone, the same thing. I thought about this. Our satellites, they can be used for good, bad, to transfer information that's great or not great. How about this? A microphone. A pastor or a teacher can use it, or it can be used for something that's more nefarious. So I would say everybody use this carefully. Think about it when you're looking at some of these new tools. Just use, I would read privacy policies and terms of conditions as you're going. And I'm sure some people might have questions later about that. Prime prompts. Prime prompts. The way we put questions and sort of a query into these AI apps, it determines everything. And you're going to kind of see that just explode in a few minutes. And we'll show you just how powerful a prompt can be and what it can create. So we'll work on that tonight. I actually have a website. It's primeprompts.com. I'll come to it let me just put it in here really quick. We'll come to it in a little bit because I have some tools there that might be helpful to everybody. Okay, and there's probably one more.
I think that's it. Okay. So tonight I am going to be the user. Most of you know that I am a SCORE mentor, but also I am an RN business consultant. My company now is called Home Care Resources Now. And what I do is I consult with home care agencies in every area of the business, because I had a business in home care for 19 and a half years. And so once I sold that business, I went into home care consulting. So the things I'm going to show you next are going to be those things that I use ChatGPT for that I've actually used in my business. So let me say this first. This is a question or a statement that I put in and I ask for information. When I hit the button, you're going to see all this stuff come on the screen. This is just an illustration. As many of you know, I'm a stickler for having minimal words on the screen when you do a presentation. So this is not something I want you all to do other than to illustrate. As you saw the other slides that we put up, they were minimal. That is the way you do a presentation. This is illustration. So I was working with one of my clients in a doula service, so I wanted to know more about it. So I put this prompt in, it came back with this full business plan. Some things they're going to have to research and find out about, for their local area. But this is all of the information it gave me for that business plan, all about all of the services that they could provide, the referral network. All they need to do is customize it. And we know that people that write business plans, they really, when they do all of this research, it can really get to be expensive. Now, there's plenty of research that you would have to do to make this plan work, but it gives you all of the framework. So this is just one of the ones, and this was an actual client. So this is not just made up. I actually use this. So we know that in home care, the individuals, they need clients and they need employees because they have to match up 1-to-1 at least, but really they need more employees. So I asked for a marketing plan on how to get employees and clients for a home care company. And this is what it came back with. Gave me, excuse me, all of the information that you needed, creating local partnerships, professional networking. Someone could take this plan and work it, put all of the local information in there and move forward. So what I do with my clients, once a month, I do a meeting where I bring them together and I talk about things that are relevant. Well, a few weeks ago, I was watching a show and I saw this nurse aide. She was talking about her job and she said she was talking about that she wasn't making enough money. And she said, I work 70 hours a week, 7 days a week. And the thing that hit me immediately was that she's got to be stressed out. How is she able to do that? So I wanted to talk to my group about how this affects their bottom line and how whatever is happening with those aides affects them. So I thought about it because I knew it from experience, but I wanted to put some order and structure to it. So I went into ChatGPT and this is what it gave me. So I went through, the turnover, the productivity, absenteeism, the quality of care is huge. And safety, if the quality of care is low, what if the aide goes in the house and she's so tired because she's worked so much, she falls asleep and the client needs help. So you may have to do additional training. That's cost to your company. And then the business reputation, huge. So I took this information, from my experience, and I created a PowerPoint for my next meeting. So that's just some of the things that you can do. I used all of these. So that's a practical standpoint. All of you think about how you can use this in your business. When I get to a point now where I start to wander, start thinking about something over and over again, now I'm learning to go to ChatGPT and ask the question there to give me an impetus to move me forward. So Stefan is going to go ahead and take over and start showing us the things that he has for us tonight. I hope that what I've done so far has been helpful, but you all go ahead and think about what you can do in your business, because sometimes I forget about it. But now I know that if I'm really racking my brain trying to figure out what to do, I just need to ask the question, just see if I can get a little bit of help. Okay, Stefan.
We do have a question in the chat.
Okay.
The first question is, if we use ChatGPT for business plans, content creation, speeches, etc., is that considered plagiarism?
Patty, you want me to comment on that? Do you want?
Say that again. Say it again, Stefan.
Did you want to mention what you thought about that? She was asking a question just now.
No, go ahead, and then I'll follow up.
Yeah. So I think 1 year from now, we probably won't be bringing up as many questions like that. And I want to explain it this way. So most of us have a cell phone probably really close to us, and we'll put in a text. And what it's doing is sort of a predictive model. It's spell checking and it's changing. And then it's suggesting the next word we might want to put in, and sometimes the next phrase that we're put in. So when we use a large language model that's been trained like this, it's not just projecting the correct spelling or the next word or the next 3 words, it's able to actually predict an entire, as I said, a business plan or an essay or things like that. And someone asked down here, what do you think about the accuracy? So I don't take anything that I get from AI or ChatGPT or any of them as gospel truth. So I think it's all infallible. It's all fallible, sorry. Same thing with Google. I think none of us would do a research paper and only use one piece of research for it. So next year, I think it'll be so woven that we just won't know. And by the way, if you're on Spotify, you're using it right now, Facebook, Prime, it's already all around you. It's probably running the power grid that's running the AC in your house right now. So AI is just around us. It's sometimes quiet. So imagine this, it's in Office. Microsoft actually just put a massive amount of money in it. So our Office is going to be integrated with it, our Microsoft Office. Same thing for Bing. Every time you search Bing, it's going through AI. Every time you search Bard, it's going through AI. So there was one other question, and Patty, I'm going to go in and switch the screen over. Did you want to take one of the other questions there?
Yes, Marshall, I think did someone ask a question of me?
Yes. Can you tell us how to set up ChatGPT? And also, how do we cite our sources with ChatGPT?
Great question. So maybe we should jump into it right there. You good?
Yes.
Okay, let's do this. I'm going to share my screen right now. Let's do, I did one window before, didn't I?
I'm not sure if you did desktop or when. Somebody has asked, can you tell us how to set up ChatGPT?
Yeah.
You go to the website, openai.com, correct, Stefan?
Correct.
And then you sign up. And then there will be an area where you choose to go into ChatGPT. And then at the bottom, it has like a search window. I'm not sure what they call it, but that's where you start to type in the things that, like I showed you, the ones that were in yellow, and then your information comes up and it does save it for you as well. Okay, it says if we use ChatGPT for business plans, content creation, speeches, is that considered the plagiarism? Stefan just talked about that. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Someone wants to use it for marketing. You can find marketing ideas in there for sure.
Is my I'm sorry, go ahead.
There's another question that just came in. I would be concerned that all business plans will be more or less the same. So how do I distinguish my business from my competition? And then, is there the 3.5 or is this the 3.5 or the 4.0 version
of ChatGPT? Which is the most current, Stefan? Do you know?
Yeah, 4.0 is the most current. The free version, everybody, is 3.5. 4.0 does a little bit more. It accesses the web all the way up past September 2021. I'm curious if my entire screen is showing or what I have, just the desktop.
We see ChatGPT, and it looks like we see another one behind it. Okay, let me address the business plan. I'm a huge business plan proponent, and I believe that you need to do your research specifically for your industry. Now, if you go into ChatGPT and it's going to give you sort of generic information, like it may say network with those people in the community that are in your business, then you need to define who they are. So there's a lot that you need to do specifically because it's going to give you some generic information. Now, Stefan really knows how to go in and really specify those prompts and maybe get some better information, but I would always edit and add to it. So once you go in and start to put in the information that you feel is specific to where you live, your audience, that is going to make your business plan unique. And I highly recommend that because one of the things you learn when you do a business plan is that you are learning your business. you're learning to think about that particular business, how it relates to you, what your strengths and weaknesses are. So there's a lot you can do with that template that ChatGPT or any other AI system gives you. Once you customize it, then it's yours and it is unique.
Everybody can probably see, I just wrote in there, write a story about, and I'm going to change something here. When we talk about prime prompts and power prompts, if I told it to write this story, it would go on for a long time because I didn't put any parameter around it. So I'm just going to say a 2-paragraph story. Sorry. Oops, sorry, my spelling there. So if we were to do this, I made it a little bit smaller. So just watch what happens when we just once upon it. There you go. This is how fast this works. That was it, everybody. So I just did anything. As a matter of fact, I could say, how about somebody put in the chat 3 things, and Marshall, if you and Patty would tell me what they put over there. So we're just going to watch what it does. So again, as Patty said, we're at OpenAI. There's ChatGPT there. If you have it, your screen will pretty much look like this one. Let me go over to here. There you go. And you'll be able to basically put anything down in this prompt area that you want to have. This is your message or prompt area, and it sort of works off of that. This is our arrow, our bow that we're going to pull back, and what we put in here is basically going to determine what we get out. So anybody can put anything in the chat. Let's just try something. I'm going to choose something if no one does. So, go ahead.
Ask ChatGPT, how do you address or correct for bias in the AI generative models?
Interesting to ask ChatGPT that. You have to go to their program.
Okay, here's another one. What are the 10 parents of high school students? The top 10, I think, things that parents of high school students are concerned about.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
What are the top 10 concerns parents of high school students are concerned about?
Oh, that's an interesting one. So just know that this is up here, and everybody, it's always going to be in your history over here. So everything that I did is going to be over here in the left side. So just know everything that I've done is always in your history on that side. And I'm just, look how it can put this entire thing addressing bias, and it goes into a lot of these things. I've gone heavily into the bias in AI, and I'm speaking in that area a lot right now because there are issues. And so the issues come back to the people who are training the data. So if it all comes back to that. So our voices, our faces, our representation needs to be there, our ownership, and we'll come to that. Patty, would you say that question one more time? What are the top, say it again?
What are the top 10 concerns for the parents of high school students is basically what it's saying.
I'm going to try.
Top 10 concerns of parents of high school students.
Let me try something. What are the top 10 concerns for the parents of high school students? So the reason I did that, everybody, I'm on a Mac. I just hit function 2 times and I can speak into it. You have the same thing on a PC, but it makes it really fast. Okay, so there we go. Academic performance. Parents worry about this. College. Yeah, that sounds right. College future opportunities.
Mental and emotional, yes.
Peer relationships.
Substance abuse, yes. That might need to be at the top. Time management.
I think this is a very good list. Again,
yes.
All with a grain of salt, but y'all, this is a really good list. Which one of these sticks out to you right now? Anyone? Patty?
Which what now?
Which one of these really sticks out like, oh, it would be interesting to get more information on that?
Substance abuse and risky behaviors for me. Since I'm in medical. So when Stefan mentioned that all of your prompts are saved over to the left-hand side, when I go in and ask for something and I'm going to use it, I put it over into a Word document and save it for myself so I don't have to continue to go back in there. And so it's just like information that I've saved that I know I'm going to use. Now you can go back in there and look at it, but if it really is something I'm going to use as what I showed you tonight, I copy it over into a document and I keep those in a file for myself.
Let's just see what happens here. So there we go. Y'all, this is very good. So imagine the time that it would take you with Google to do this. What it's doing is it's getting right to that bullseye. So we specifically went in and asked, so detail out just what this is, and it's going into the legal implications, academic and personal consequences, health risks, peer pressure. This is good. Prevention and education, and seeking professional help.
That's excellent. Stefan, someone asked a question about, is there a disclaimer that your data can be wiped out at any time? What's being saved in there, does it disappear?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer.
Yeah, so here's my answer to it. Y'all, I believe anything could happen at any time. My computer could go down, Microsoft, Apple, you name it, it can go down. So I save everything, even though I have it in that history there. A lot of us will just copy that history, and actually you can export it. So now ChatGPT has a feature where you can export. Let me just maybe show you this really fast. I go there, settings, there, data controls. There it is right there, export. It'll export all of my history. So everybody, it's on the left-hand side in settings under data control. All of your stuff is being saved if you want it to. If you don't, then don't do it. But I actually think we put a lot of time, effort, and brain power into what we co-create here. Let's think of it that way. Let's not think of, oh, this is our brains going out the window. It's a co-creation. Or think of AI as a assisted intelligence. So it's not some assisted or augmented. And augmented means just adding something to. So you can think of it in that way. So yeah, that's a really interesting, let's try something here. Put together a 6-part course that's 2 hours long for parents of high school students in North Carolina. Okay, everybody understand how extraordinary that is.
I will say, I think it helps as far as making sure your data is good when you know something about the subject. Like when I put that prompt in there about stress and burnout for employees, I already knew a lot about it. So whatever came back to me, I was like, yes, that's good. Just like we just did with some of this, where, yeah, that sounds right. That is correct. Yeah. So it helps when you know something about it. But if you go out there and pretend you know something about a subject and you got everything from ChatGPT, that's when you may be exposed or revealed. I'll say it like that. Because you did not get it and you didn't go back into it and you didn't know how to make it better or make it sound like you or whatever. But when you know a little bit about a subject and you're looking for structure, organization, and additional prompts, I think that's where it works best. I think that's where it is right now. Yeah.
So, and with that, I would say that we really have to see this as a tool. And we've heard the arguments about plagiarism and what's going to happen. And so just know that there are AI detection tools that faculty are going to be using. And I taught for 10 years, and there's not a faculty or a teacher or professor that won't have some type of plagiarism checker or AI detection tool in their arsenal in order to be looking at papers this coming year. So this is the big year. All of this is rolling out more in 2023 than it ever has before. But just know, in the world we live in, AI is going to be checking AI. And then somebody else is going to make another AI that tries to override what professors are doing. So watch this one here, y'all. The reason I'm bringing up this, it's called perplexity.ai. And anybody can just type this in your browser. The reason I'm going here is this is also a chatbot. It does the same type thing, but it cites all your sources. So people might have said, well, you brought up that stuff in ChatGPT, and it's information that you could go back and research and all of that. But watch what I take the same thread, and let's see, I'm just going to paste here. Okay, I pasted the same. Let's try this and see what happens. Okay, now you see what it's doing. It's putting together a 6-part course, but look what it has over here. It cites sources that immediately jump you over to all the way high school. So it continuously goes back to, this is massive. I hope somebody should put some emojis up there for this one, because this is how tremendous our this chatbot can be. And a lot of us, we use Perplexity all the time because now it's the real deal. So you go do all the work you want. Now watch this. Look what this, oh, there you go. Y'all got the love emojis over there. So watch this. What Perplexity does, it's prompting you with some more questions now. It says, so here's related questions. What are some of the most important topics to cover? So that's a good question. And it's prompting you. Now here's some of the stuff that you can cover. And look at this. Everything is citing the sources over here. Positive parent training. Well, what's that? Let's go find out. And this is getting right back to Durham, as a matter of fact. Very cool. Yeah. Y'all. So I'm not looking in the chat, but I know you all are if there's any questions about this. Look at this one. I just love this. I'm reading it as you are. How to help high school students manage their time. I want to know about that. Hold on one second. I do. Look at this. Oh my goodness, y'all, turn off your phone. Put it on silent mode. Set goals and priorities. This is great. Eliminate stressful interactions. Find a quiet place. This is great stuff. And how about this? Let's just go down here to, So watch the type of prompts they put down here to help you in this. So look at what it took us to. So we weren't just sitting there at a place with, oh, it's AI. Now we're way off of AI. We're off the track. So we're in, this is what Google would bring up, except it's not, hey, look what, the shotgun did. It made this big blast. We went directly to it. So,
Stefan, is Perplexity free or is it paid only?
it's free.
It's free. Okay.
Yeah. And so the other reason I want to say this to everybody, so you might think, well, ChatGPT, you do have to register for it. But Perplexity, just open up the website. Any of y'all could have just done it, and you probably did. And it's that simple. So it is a extraordinary site to use, especially when it comes to research and citing your, again, I'm not looking in the chat, and maybe somebody has something else that they want to put in there.
Yes. Stefan, someone wants to know that as a musician, how can you use AI?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to get into those, some of those programs. Oh, wait, I got a good one. Watch this.
Okay.
Watch this. As a musician in North Carolina who plays the piano and composes, how can I use AI in my business? Sorry to cheat y'all, but this is the way we do it now. It's not just us in the room. I'm still using my brain, but I use my brain to put this in there. So look at this, music composition, arrangement, production, sound design, virtual ways to help you in your business. Y'all, this is good stuff right here. It's important to note that while AI can be a valuable tool, I love this kind of disclaimer. It should not replace your artistic intuition and human touch. Let me try something. Right? One verse of lyrics to a song about musicians and ChatGPT. I ain't gonna try to rap that or say it or anything, but just look at this, y'all. My goodness. Try something. Write it in the style of Jay-Z. It's got it. Okay.
In this game.
So I don't know how close that is, JD, probably
I
not, but
don't either, but
y'all get the
I bet he
idea.
could do something with it.
Yeah. I'd be embarrassed to even let him see that. I'm embarrassed to put it in there, but y'all get the idea. Okay, so we talked about ChatGPT. We talked about Perplexity. I want to show you one other thing. I'm going to stay in ChatGPT, and I've added AI PRM. It's a extension with it. So we're going to do something now. We're going to take this, an extension. It just adds to your browser, and it's free. So I'm just going to take a prompt and see what I can. Let me figure out one here. Let me take one. So this is, we can put in any prompt we want, but this actually helps us with that. And I'm going to hit go. Let's see, is this? Oh, okay. It's wanting more information in that. Let's do this one. Write a lesson plan for a lawn care business starting with $200, a truck, and one employee, but lots of connections, period. Shoot. Y'all, look at that. It knew that I meant business plan. That's natural language processing there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is good. Oh, it did do a lesson plan. Okay. Interesting. Okay. This is good. This is good. I see what you did there. Turn that into a business plan. I hope everybody sees how extraordinary this is in putting this together. Marketing, sales, ideas, branding.
Stefan, when you went between ChatGPT and Perplexity, you just went to another website, correct?
I did. And so at the
Okay.
top, can you all see the top of my screen, what I'm pointing to?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, there's ChatGPT, and I just hit Perplexity.
Yes, someone asked the question. So you have those windows open, but they would need to sign on to each one, as you have already done.
Yes, so I would like to communicate about that. So that's exactly what we do, because some chatbots function in a different way than others. So we find out which one has the information that we want and how it's best used, and then we use that. So Patty and I talked about 3 of them that we're going to talk about tonight. So I talked about ChatGPT, and again, it's free for the 3.5 version. You can use it for everything. Perplexity, they've got a lot of money being poured into Perplexity to develop that right now, and they do an unbelievable job of it. Then I'm going to go to Poe. So here we go. This is POE.com. And here's what's interesting about Poe.com is that it's sort of a curated list of a few chatbots. These are chatbots. It even lets you build one here. So Sage, ChatGPT 4, Claude, you pay for that one, this one. And there's a plain ChatGPT there. I like this one called Claude Instant. And by the way, Poe is free, and it's also an app on your phone. And as a person who's into domains, I really like that it's only 3 letters. I never forget it. Y'all probably won't forget that. Just Poe, POE.com. Here's one of the reasons I really like Claude. And again, you have to sort of find out which one of these works best for you in different instances. So some do business plans better. Some do book writing and essays and poetry better. Claude Instant happens to be the best writer that I know of. It writes very quick, and let me see if I can figure out something. I'm just going to think of a prompt here really fast, you all. As a matter of fact, we're going to write a quick story, but I want you to see. I'm going to give it a persona. So I'm going to say, I want you to write in the persona of, write a short story in the persona of a New York Times best-selling author with 8 best-selling science fiction books, period. This story will be about a boy in his travels to Mars and him taking his dog, Scotty, with him, period. Make it verbose and detailed in less than 500 words. Okay. Watch how fast this is.
Stefan, are you using a free version of ChatGPT or not?
I'm not, but yours will do the exact same thing that mine did.
Okay.
I didn't use any sweet sauce or anything there. So
Okay.
y'all just look at this. I did that. And to let you know, there's some stories that come out of here that are extraordinary, and work with them, do things with them, let them inspire you to do the different things. But regardless of what you think, this is our new world. We do not live in the world before November 30th last year, where we did work in a different way. We create content in a different way. And regardless, I have a pencil here and a piece of paper. I can go back to that and start thinking of things, but it helps me, assisted intelligence helps me. And that's what this is. So just look, it has Jeremy. I'm sure it's got Scotty. There it is, his loyal bipedal Yorkie. It goes on, the ship began to rise, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I wonder what it's going to say about this. So it put something in there. Oh, y'all see what that did. Oh, my goodness. So it highlighted something here and it's saying, yeah, tell me more about that. Tell me more about alien civilizations. So I'm bringing this up to let you know that under POE.com is this one called Claude that is very, very good as a writer. So I want to try something, and well, let's do this. Look, this has something very different, similar to Perplexity, and it has questions to prompt you further at the bottom. So I want you to see 2 things. When you put like, these companies pay attention to this, y'all. When you put like in ChatGPT that, man, that was bad or good, that gets their attention. So all of them are building their companies around what we say. So our input has a lot to do with this. Early on, we're still doing it today. All of this bias stuff that's there, I end up contacting founders and CEOs and talking to them about a lot of this, explaining where some of these things need to be changed. But they look for input from everybody. But I wanted you to know that those likes and dislikes are always there, and it's actually learning about you, and it's learning about its writing. So this one also gives you some prompts here. This is very interesting. How would alien civilization? Yeah, this just keeps you going.
Someone asked a question, can I take my already written draft book and let ChatGPT update it or tell it to rewrite it in a certain tone?
Yeah, that's very good. And the answer is absolutely. There's a limit to how many characters you can put in at one time. Just know that GPT-4, you can put a larger amount of characters in. So you do it in batches. And yes, you can do exactly that. It'll do a lot of that. The tones for you. So I want to show you something. Let me see.
There's also a great comment that says, our children will not know how to do anything on their own.
Well, y'all,
Let
me see what I would say about. All I have to say is we don't live in the pencil and paper world or the Texas Instrument calculator. And I don't remember these things, but it's like a slide rule or something that people did math on. We're not there. And as much as we want them to sit down with a pen and do different things, I hate to say, but this is the new world that we're in. So we find ways to use our mind so that we're actually sort of using this AI. It's not thinking for us, but it's our brilliant ideas being assisted by this, these computers and technology. So we do it right now. I mean, we carry phones around that How many people here even know the phone number of your, your best friend? Or I think I know my parents. I think I probably forgot actually, but y'all, I don't, that's crazy. However, I remember the phone number of when I grew up, when I was a kid, because that got ingrained in us. So yeah, that's a very interesting thing. And yes, you can write with different tones to it for sure. So I wanted you to see how that that does that.
Stefan, are you going to show us something where it builds a website, or is that next week?
That's next week. That's
Okay.
next week.
All
But I'm
right.
gonna
That's
show you,
next week. Someone asked the question.
yeah, I'm going to show you something pretty cool here. So this is on Prime Prompts. It's just primeprompts.com. So watch how simple you can do. And I'm bringing this up because somebody just mentioned, and by the way, it's on the front page of the site. We have a whole bunch of resources here. This is my website, by the way. There's some very cool things here, but just hit 31 prompts. And somebody just mentioned about their book. So imagine putting your book, parts of it there, chapter at a time, and you just said summarize or expand. These are amazing prompts. Instead of saying rewrite it, y'all elaborate, amplify, clarify. These are extraordinary one-word prompts to take the information that you got. These are really good. Condense,
That's good.
emphasize, reiterate, diversify, neutralize. Oh my goodness, look at this one. I haven't used that. Remove bias or opinion. That's very interesting, y'all.
I hope it works.
Oh, it works. It works. That's right. Patty, we got to put that one everywhere. We got to put neutralize everywhere. So by the way, y'all, that's us. That's us staying in this place of being active in this. We're not at the table, So illustrate, very good. Synthesize, sensationalize. This is very interesting. Great for clickbait. So just imagine that you've created something and you're using one-word prompts to take you to the next level. It's really cool. And even work with some of these things. And again, it's on our Prime Prompt site. It's right there at the beginning. We also have a really cool resource page that's right there. And it's got all kinds of resources. I'll show you. I actually put together a list of a lot of different types of AIs that are out there, what they're used for, the websites and all of those. So it goes on and on. That's in our resource site for Prime Prompts. And again, back to that one, down to there. I'll get back to that a little bit later. If there are any other questions that are there, I'll go to that, and we'll keep on moving here.
Well, there's a question. Does Claude Instant only work with fiction, or can it work with nonfiction writing as well?
Nonfiction as well. But again, check all of your, check everything. So I'm just going to bring it up. So, I don't know what's happened in the news with the submarine. Does anybody have any?
Yes, they all are deceased.
They know that. Okay.
Yes, they know that. They found the debris.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was curious as to what scientists are doing and marine biologists. So you can actually ask it questions just like you would in Google about what's happening with all of that. But you can get the scientific facts versus a story about it. So again, Claude does that. And I want you to know here's Claude GPT right here. That's the basic one. And oh, look at this, Duke Energy. ChatGPT, this is earlier, I was on this. As a young entrepreneur and a sophomore in college, do you want to start a project for green energy in North Carolina? Name 5 different places you could go to do research. I just put that in there. Language model, I don't have preferences, but I can tell you these. You can go to North Carolina Clean Energy. So there it goes, Appalachian State. I was just getting some research out of it. And again, I was using ChatGPT for that. I could probably put the same thing in any of those, and you'd find a pretty interesting, get some.
Stefan, I'm getting a few questions about which ones will provide references.
Yeah, so Perplexity is references. It cites sources over here. Actually, and I want you to know that ChatGPT 4 is connected to the internet. It just takes a little bit longer. And it also gives you references. So it scours the internet for information. It'll give you references. So yeah, but I use Perplexity for that all the time. Patty, we brought this one up last time. This is only because we brought it up last time. I want to show you really quick. It's you.com, and you is also a browser. I can hit it right there, and there we go. We can start writing right away. The other good thing about you is it's a search engine where I can search for yes. Yeah, you can search for anything and you can chat about it. You can talk about it, but I want to bring this, and again, it'll give you images, all of that stuff you want. But here's what's really cool about it is you can go a little bit deeper than that and chat. Watch this. Go over to more, and again, we're at you.com. Hit write, and here's a beautiful thing right here. You write, you can do an essay, an email, social media post, a blog, an essay. You can choose the tone that it's going to be: friendly, professional, witty, persuasive. Let's just going to say social media post, and let's make it witty and followers. And let's do social media post. Give me 10 Twitter posts about my business in computer chip technology. Oh, wait, I'm not in my account right now. Let's see if it does it anyway. No, it won't. So I'm not in my account. Sorry about that. Yeah, usually it's actually in. But you all understand how some of these different tools will work there for you. And I think it's to our benefit to be using them. So just check one thing. Yeah, let's just do it really quick, just so you can see. Social media posts, let's make it witty, make it followers. Somebody give me their business really quick, anything, just name it, and I'll put it in here.
Daycare.
Write 10 different Twitter hashtags with posts about a home healthcare service in Raleigh, North Carolina. And there we go. Hashtag Raleigh. Yeah, it's giving me the hashtags for it. Compassionate care. A great way to just sit there and do that. I wonder if I did an email. Email. Yeah, it's over, right? Oh, and I didn't change it. There you go. So it said, make it witty, get the care you deserve. There you go. Is an email about it, your company. It does these things very well. And I will let you know, it has saved me a lot of time in writing some emails. And again, this is in You Write. It's one of the things that we do. I want to show you something that's on the fun side. Well, let's go to this. And I know we have some questions in a second. Let's go to this one. Anytime you're doing research, and let's say you're writing a paper or something, and you're listening to some talks on YouTube, and let's say the talk is a lecture and it's, an hour and a half long. And I've actually done this before, and I really didn't have time to listen to the whole thing. You actually now.
So anyone who's been paying attention for the last few months has been seeing headlines like this.
This actually is a great video. He's Sal Khan, and he runs what is that thing called again? Oh, Khan Academy. Yo, he is doing some stuff with education right now globally that is unbelievable. He believes that we'll be using AI for education through smart devices for everyone in the world. He thinks that AI is going to allow us to customize education so it's more tailor fit for people rather than you got to be at this level or this level. But he thinks we'll learn better and smarter if we have education. If you make a class that's specially designed for a particular student of yours, and then another course, a type of learning that's for someone else, I think it'll teach people to learn better, but you get to learn how people learn. So watch this down in the bottom corner, transcript and summary. Look at this. You hit one button and here is his entire talk. Everything word for word. It does it instantly. So it also puts the times here of when it is. So again, if you're doing research for something, you have to go in here, you're using ChatGPT, and you want to use that. Now, let's just get a summary of it. You hit this one right next to it. That's a ChatGPT button right there. And watch what it's going to do. That's the whole talk right there. Now it's giving you a summary. He's saying that AI has the potential to positively transfer. So you just now took his entire talk and got a summary on it. And you could ask it, I could cut and paste this and look at how many times he mentioned so-and-so, or I could ask it for a longer summary or a course out of that. So just know that that's a pretty interesting tool to be able to use. Here's another interesting thing. I'll just bring this up to you. A lot of people right now, when they're developing courses or type lesson plans, they all actually are using somebody else's voice to speak for them. Let's say I don't like my voice. People are getting voiceovers and just having somebody else, you text it in and it speaks it out in someone else's voice. Let me see.
Success isn't about how much money you make.
So literally that person's voice or anybody's voice.
A remarkable man in possession of limitless curiosity and intellect, Elon Musk makes a fascinating subject.
These aren't real voices, y'all. These aren't real voices. So just know that it can generate your voice or someone else's. And it's one of the things that people are using when they have websites. I see that over there. I want to say one other thing, Patty, with this. 2023 is going to be the year of, I don't know what's real. So just know that we're at the cusp of, I don't even know what's real anymore because you can create so many things. I'm going to show y'all something. I've even questioned myself about teaching some of these things, but you're going to see it raised sooner or later anyway. So the fact that you can change, you can write a book, have a voice speak out your book, create a face that's actually reading it for you. You can choose from different faces to read your book for you with the voice that you put in. So if you understand that, and I can use this as an avatar. So a lot of people, it's called a chatbot. People will create an avatar, put it at the bottom corner of their website down here, and have it say, hey, it's great to see you. I'm glad you came to visit my site, and so on. It's an incredible tool to use. And just know that instead of a stagnant website, let me see if they, this is really funny. They actually don't have one on their own site here. But most sites you see, everyone is going to have a little chatbot that you can train. And again, you can have it say anything. And I'm going to show you some extraordinary things next week, and I'll give you a taste of it in a second. So this D-ID is one of the most interesting, but it's going to be well-used tools, and there's a bunch of them like it that people will be using in order to teach your class, do your seminar, and do all types of creative things. Let me just see this.
DID's Creative Reality Studio just got even better. Now, as well as animating images from text or audio, you can create avatars and generate scripts using Stable Diffusion and GPT-3. Just describe what you want your avatar to look like and press create. You can make any avatar you want. Say, picture of a half-alien goddess, or a 19th century portrait of a happy Victorian gentleman. Not sure what you want your avatar to say? Just tell our AI what you have in mind, and it will automatically generate a script for you. If you can imagine it, just type or talk to create a one-of-a-kind video without any technical knowledge. digital creations for human imaginations. Go to d-id.
So again, you see some of those crazy type things, but just know that when you're creating now, these people down here, it'll bring them to life. You can also just take your own picture and your eyes start to blink, your mouth is moving. It's like, oh man, what just happened? And it's actually not it was just a photograph of you. And so know that we'll be talking more about that one and actually using it next week. So we talked about a voice one, we talked about a video one here, and know that people are putting those things together on websites. Is there a question? I thought I saw something come up over there.
Someone wants to know, is this the real Stefan that's talking to us?
So if I was an avatar, could I do this? Maybe. I don't know. Yo, that's a question. I'm gonna just tell you, I do a lot of these rooms and I'll have we have a lot of Harvard PhDs, Stanford, you name it, they're in these rooms, these data scientists that are very forward thinking. Our minds are about to be blown with what artificial intelligence can do. And yes, this is the real me, that's Patty there. But it is changing. And I need to say this, that soon it's going to be imperceptible to the human eye and to our ears as to what's legit in front of us. You all probably know that somebody made a picture of a bomb at the Pentagon, and it took our stock market, it moved it $500 billion. 20 seconds, it took that thing, it went to somebody's Twitter account who happened to have a verified account, went to another one who had 1 million followers. It went out all over the world, and instantly the stock market went down and back up. But $500 billion from something that wasn't real, so expected to be used just everywhere, obviously in political. It's going to be very interesting. You want to make some money? Start getting into the space that's thinking of how we're going to sort of watermark these things and the cybersecurity behind them, how we're going to figure out how we're going to do this with kids and things like that, because kids just won't understand what's actually going on, and a lot of us won't either. So let's see if I can do something. That's a great question. Yes, it's the real me. I hope so. I just want to show one thing if I can get back to it. Is there another question in there?
When you have a moment, will you go back over the YouTube speeches portion again with notes / transcript, etc.?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, they need to redo that one. They talk, every company's talking about ethics now. But what I would probably say to the company is, it has to be representation. Let's figure out how we can all be working on this together, because AI is a global thing. So you were going back to a YouTube speech. Oh, I didn't mention this, that the name of it is, it's called, one second. GLASP, there it is. GLASP. That's the tool I'm using. And again, it's going to be an extension right in your browser. So I don't ever open it up or anything like that. You know, you could pull up any speech you want, and ChatGPT talk. I mean, you could just pull up a speech, and what it's going to do is instantly. And there it is. Watch this. I just started it. It's 17 minutes long.
It's amazing.
And watch this.
Last.
He's talking about the smartphone. It's going to change everything. Watch this.
So,
and done.
But
there you go.
Everyone. I'm Imran Chaudhry.
That was instant. And watch this. So I can hit ChatGPT. There it is. It's going to open up. By the way, oh shoot, I didn't have a chance. I wanted to open up 4. So there you go. And there is, I want to try something. Expound on this analysis of his speech, period. There you go. That was almost like taking one of those things that's in prime prompts. And now look what we did. We made it a lot longer, but it's still not 17 minutes.
All right.
Turn that into a half an hour session where I can teach high school students. There you go. We now took his message and we condensed it and we turned it into a half an hour session for high school students. There you go. It's even down to the minutes. Watch this one. Make that lesson for an elementary school student learning about technology. This is a 4th grade class. Y'all, it's just amazing. Look at that. Exploring the future. So let's watch the English they put in. Begin by asking the students if they've heard of AI. Make AI, engage, they know about Siri. Exploring AI, discuss the future, trusting. So when it comes to that in kids, y'all, I just want to say as a former teacher, well, I'll just put this out there that a lot of these apps say that kids under 13 shouldn't be using them. So there's AI that I know some of it's made for, and it's already, a lot of apps are being used in elementary school, but there are some people who understand that some of these things aren't meant to be in elementary schools right now. So that's a long conversation, but just know it has to be monitored. I'll put it that way. So look at that, y'all. It turned it into a 30-minute class for a 4th grade class. Is there another question that's over there?
Yes, here's something. Can AI look up accurate and updated regulations for any government entity that has them? For example, military regulations about leave and pass.
Can you look up-to-date information on government regulations about things like leave and tasks?
I guess passes.
That's all right. Got to spell task. Family medical leave. Here's a summary of up-to-date government regulations. Time off. There it goes. Then Family Leave Medical Act, and it goes back to that. There you go. Wisconsin. Sick leave.
So you
How
could
about
tailor it.
for the state of North Carolina? Here's a summary. North Carolina General. There you go. So just know that ChatGPT 3.5, the free version, would give you information that's only up to September 2021. And folks, it's $20 basically a month. And so that's why I go ahead and pay it, because it doesn't. And there's your other question down there. There's some websites there that'll help you with it and see course. I really like the way that it's so helpful here. I'm curious if that helped the person who brought up that question, because that's some good stuff there.
There's a question here about linking it to Excel. Are you familiar with that at all? I guess some of the data, maybe?
Oh, like an Excel spreadsheet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually did that one time here. Let me see if I can try it. No, I'm going to try it in a different way. Sorry. So I'm going to put in a prompt, everybody. And what I normally do is I ask for things to be in a table if I want to then transfer it to a spreadsheet. So I'm going to put in, this is more of a power prompt. And so I did this because in the city of Raleigh, I was helping my son with a camp called Beyond Basketball. We were mentoring young men, and they were teaching them to do business plans. And the young man that I was with, he was in middle school, wanted to be a basketball player, but also he was interested in marine biology. Well, I used to be a diver, spear fisherman, and all that. So I have thousands of hours in diving. And he had never experienced any of that. But I was trying to think, man, how could we discover something about marine biology that he could relate to and that he could find a profession in? Because I said, well, what in marine biology did you want to study? So because I work in the area, I do a lot in virtual reality. I said, man, what about this? What if you had a business where you help other kids who never go in the ocean to see what it's like through virtual reality, through like an Oculus? He thought it was a great idea. So we just fashioned a prompt, and I did a simple one. And then I told ChatGPT to help me to make this prompt better. So I'm sitting there with this 13-year-old young man, and he has to do a business plan. And it was like, write a business plan for a person going into marine biology. He wants to start a business using virtual reality and teaching other kids. So it was something like that. But I went into it a little bit more in depth. I want you to act like a new virtual reality marine biology business owner. What does that business owner need to start the business? What are best practices? And I'll put this over in the chat because you can take this and use it for your own format and put it in there as well. In a column and separate list, give me an idea for a name, a short one-liner, target user persona, pain points to solve, main value propositions. So I put everything here. So Patty, when we talk about a power prompt, it would be something like this, where you would sort of get everything in there and then see what it comes up with. And again, I wish I was in 4, but I'm in 3 right now, 3.5. And there you go. And what it's doing is taking it and putting it into the chart like we asked for there. And it gives us, and watch this. There we go in our markdown table. And so I think this prompt is so good that I'm going to take it and see if it'll fit in the chat here. Let's try that. Copy. I don't know how to get back to the chat. Let me hit that. Put it
Is
here.
it at the bottom of your screen, maybe?
Let's see it. Hit that.
You see it?
Got it. There you go. Y'all, that's a power prompt. So take that and you use it for whatever. Need to make this go away. Use it for whatever. I'm trying to get this off of my screen now.
Stefan, I have a question here from Peter. He's wanting to know if you put the same prompt in twice, will you get different information?
Y'all, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm really glad. So Peter, would you put that into something right now and let's see what you get? And I want to tell you my opinion. We've done this a lot with storytelling and poetry and everything. And we actually find that everybody gets something different. So y'all try it right now and see. I'd be very interested if somebody's on any of these, just copy that and paste. And I think your business might have a different name than mine. Mine's called Ocean VR.
Now, Peter, I tried that. I put a prompt in and I really didn't like the answer. It was very vague. So I put the same thing in again, and it basically rearranged the words for me. Now, if you did it, it may do something different for you, but I really didn't like the results in the first place. So I probably didn't put the correct prompt in and I needed to go deeper. But that's what it did for me. But just experiment with it and just add more details or more specificity to get a better result. Correct, Stefan?
Correct. I'd be very interested, to see if he actually put that in there, what he would get. I think
someone could try it.
And Peter, it sounds like maybe you might be involved with, I don't know if you do any coding or whatever, but secret things in website. So I just did this. I said, act as a JavaScript developer. Write a program that checks the information on a form, name and email and required, but address and age are not. And so there you go. So just know that it actually does. Some of y'all probably understand how major this is.
Mm-hmm.
In this example, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just said, my goodness.
Yeah, my goodness is right. So somebody said, y'all, when you taught computers to code, That's when you, that's
Oh,
when you
yeah.
open Pandora's box. I'm just telling you, the stuff that it knows right now. So again, are you all able to copy that, or am I only able to do it? Because I'll just take this prompt and put it in there, or can anybody copy it and put it in there?
I don't know if they can copy off your screen. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But if you could put it in the chat, that would be great.
Yeah. Yeah, those kind of things are very helpful. So
Someone asked a question. It said, since Poe has all of the sites, is it necessary to sign up for each individually? Is that statement true, the first part of it?
yeah, but so you have to pay with Poe in order to get so see how it gives you the ChatGPT, this one down here, which is GPT-3. You have to pay for the other ones. By the way, this is another, I was just having it do a chart there. So know that it has ChatGPT, but in order to get the GPT-4, you have to pay for it. So it's asking you to subscribe. But yeah, I just end up going back to, it looks like I have one more GPT-4 left that I could put in there. And I don't know exactly what I would use. It's really significant. Let me just show you something, a little fun thing that shows you when I say that we'll be able to do all kinds of stuff with a prompt. So we talked about papers. We just now talked about coding. We talked about business plans and stories, a rap, or song lyrics. So it also is able to create video, cartoons, images. If you can think it up, you can create it. So I can actually put something in here. I wish, instead of me thinking, I wish somebody would tell me what you want me to create right now, and let's just see if it does it.
Can you ask follow-up questions after receiving a generated reply without rewriting the whole prompt over again?
Can you ask follow-up questions? Yeah, you can just say, explain that, please. Yeah, you can explain that, reiterate. Can you tell me more about so-and-so? Oh, so I want to make this really clear. So that chain of conversation that we just started up there, all of this is still there. So all of this, all of these things I've been doing for a while, it stays up there in a thread. So it's not going away, and then it goes over in your history, and it's going to keep it. I mean, I was asking things a long time ago. List the fastest and easiest chatbot I could build with no coding experience and only following your simple directions. Give the directions now. It tells me how to build a chatbot, and I'll show you how simple that is. ManyChat is, by the way, a great one to go to. I just wanted it to do this. Yeah. So know that you can clarify any of that, but I wanted you to know that all the conversation is there and it's saved over here. And if I wanted a new one, I just hit new chat, but there you go. Oh man, it's trying to get over to ChatGPT-4. Yeah, so it's able to do all types of things like that. Did that answer that question? Want to see something cool?
What about Mixo? You remember talking about that? Have you?
I am. That's the website builder. I was going to do those next
That's
week.
next week. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So,
Okay, so let's make sure we get all of these questions in. Marshall, are you looking? I'm looking also. If someone
Yes.
has a question they want to put back in case we missed it, please do that, and we'll try to get some questions answered right quick here.
and I do want to say this while we're on it, I'm still in ChatGPT. I'm in an extension and I'm just using it right now to prompt me. And this is a sort of power prompt, write a complete book in one click. So I can say, what do I want to write a book about? I want to write a book about I just made up something. Oh my goodness gracious. Book title, Harvesting Dreams, Exploring Life on Kansas Farms and Farm, the book chapters. Do y'all understand what this is happening?
Mhm.
Boundless Prairies. Blah, blah, blah. Chapter 1, the essence of this is just, and by the way, I would hit here, continue, and it would continue writing. Yes. Yeah, I mean, imagine the things that I could have. Y'all understand, this is your book. This is your, now you go in there and you add you to it. And by the way, I could have put a real technical prompt in there instead of saying barns and farms, you know, so you do it about what interests you, what you love, what you like to do. And think of it as assisted intelligence. My goodness. The above chapter, interesting case. That's just unbelievable. Okay, and what were, man, y'all, we could be writing. I could have started this book when we started this conversation, and we'd have a book done, and then you can sell it. Go put it on one of these things.
I
So
think you may have answered this question already. It says, can it edit things we've written, such as proofreading or developmental editing?
yeah, it's actually very smart in that. So you can grab your information, drop it in here, and edit it. That's actually a very simple thing for it to do.
Can it do an intro for my podcast, Life Strategies Show?
Y'all know, y'all just, I love those kind of things. So watch this. This is probably where I'd go right here. Write an intro for a podcast called Life Strategy Show. I'm gonna start charging for this. Whoever put that in there, that's $5 right there. No, I love this stuff. Look
No,
at that.
she's a great friend, so we won't charge
Oh,
her.
I know. I'm just, but look at this stuff, y'all. This is, and let me try something. Let's do this. Rewrite. Now here we go again. Let's do, I mean, we could do any of those ideas to break it down, but that is incredible. Write 5 hashtags. I didn't clarify. There you go.
Okay, great, great.
5 Twitter posts. And each one's got the hashtag behind it. By the way, create 10 different subjects to talk about in my next 10 podcasts.
That's a good one. Mhm.
Few things to keep in mind. But hey, then can you suggest any? Oh my goodness, y'all, this is good stuff. Oh, I like this. Can you, so it's helping us. It's saying who you might want to have on your show, blah, 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 blah. And it's still going. If you can get Tim Ferriss, that's pretty good.
Yes, and Brene Brown. Yes, we can get those
Yeah,
people.
y'all, if you can get Brene
I'll
Brown.
call her in just a minute.
Suggest any books. Do you have any tips for y'all, this is good stuff. So again, I went to Claude Instant. I happen to like the way it thinks and things like this. And there you go. It's sort of it's very smart in producing things like this. So I think it's very cool. Give me another one. Let's do a few of these. And by the way, you see how I'm going from different ones. I'm going back and forth. So I just showed you one that can write a book. We went to Perplexity. We saw how that cites sources. This one's great for doing this. We went to you.com, which was you write, and we saw it write email. So keep going. I'll maybe do a few more.
I have another question. Does Claude Instant save the info in a thread as well? Does it save your prompts?
Yes.
Okay,
Prompts. So here's the stuff. Yeah. It just keeps going up. Yep.
okay.
This is all the stuff I've ever done. Probably don't want you to see and all that. Oh my goodness. Let me just tell you, this was I want you to know something. So I was asking in a scientific way what it would be like if someone were to fall into a black hole. And because we don't really, let me just see this. In the style of a New York Times, again, this is sort of a power bomb, best-selling science journalist with 40 years of experience. I wanted to add that, a doctorate in astronomy, chemistry, medicine, space, and frequent writer for the New York Times. And so I'm adding all of this stuff because I wanted this story to be as good as possible. Person would feel like they were sucked into hypothetically a black hole, describe every mental and physical feeling. So I have a friend whose husband is an astrophysicist, won the Nobel Prize with his group 5 years ago or something, Scientist of the Year, several years back. And they've only gone to a certain part of what it would be like to actually have something like that happen. But AI enables us to imagine some things that you just wouldn't believe. So I had to do this story and then keep revising it. And it's really extraordinary. Also, I'll tell you this real quick, that you can prompt to get a little bit further into the future. So in the same way it can tell me 10 steps that'll make my business better tomorrow, I say, hold up, if you can tell me that, can you give me 5 goals that'll help me to help my diet and my exercise for the next month? Write me a diet plan. I'm 61 years old. Can you write me a diet plan that's high on protein and low on carbs for the next month? Also with an exercise plan, exercising 4 days a week with cardio. Period. Also give me a meal plan with recipes I can make at home. Here's my exercise plan, diet. There you go. Meal plan, day by day. Exercise, here's what you can start with. Your strength training. Hope this helps. And I could say elaborate or whatever, but just know. So what I was trying to say is that if it can be predictive in my next sentence, in my next 3 words, and in a paragraph, I started predicting it further into the future. Like, if you can tell me that, can you tell me what things could look like in 2025? Could you tell me what things could look like in 2030? Now, can you tell me, looking back from 2030, what AI jobs are going to come about as a result of how big AI is? Tell me some of those fields we need to be looking into right now. And I think I told you this, Patty, that I had AI create a article where it wrote itself. So it did this in my first Medium post, so I just told it to tell us about prospective jobs, because we say, oh, everybody's going to lose jobs and we can't. But when we know these skills, all types of things will happen. So I had it write jobs from data analysts to AI ethicists, trainers, beauty, skin experts, and so on. And then I have a link right here, and I hope it comes up. And there you go. I told AI to develop a spreadsheet for me that was in different columns. I wanted the job position. Tell me what type of existing skills it would help to have those particular jobs that those jobs would call for. Tell me how we would prepare for them. What kind of skills? Is college going to be required for these type jobs? Give me an estimated salary range. And I forgot the last one. And the level of prompt engineering. You go to some of these and, it's a high level salary and, and it calls for quite a bit of prompt engineering. But anyway, so you all got it. You can prompt all different things like that. And that's on my Medium page. And I will tell you this too, that I did a thing there for parents. And I just had AI talk about a letter to parents. So it's right there, dear parents, and I just had AI talk. So not me, not anything. Hey, AI, would you just tell us, we got a lot of parents in the room and I'm a grandparent. Tell us things that we might want to know about. I ain't gonna say nothing, you take it. And all of this is AI. So just know, don't believe me, don't believe, whoever, just know it's got some stuff to say. it's got some stuff to say, and I would encourage you to read that. Maybe we could take a couple more questions, and I wanted to mention one other thing, Patty, or
There's a couple of people asking for returning to the images. We're going to do the images next week, right?
yeah, we're going to do all types
Yeah,
of
we're going to go further into that next week. So I hope you can come back because he's going to do more with the video and all of those things next week. So,
and I wanted to add this to it. So I've mentioned a few things like D-ID that if you go ahead and sign up for a free trial, and I'm not endorsing any of this stuff, I don't even think you have to have the free trial. There's no money paid or anything, but so you can do it along with me when I'm creating or you're creating during the week. The same thing for this one here. There's the website there, clio.so/maker. Oh, and I didn't do anything here. So let's just try this real quick. Let me think of something. Y'all give me something to draw an image of. Draw an image of a German Shepherd walking down a city street beside an older man reading the newspaper. Make this photorealistic. Sorry. All right, here we go. Let's do it photography, style helper. Let's do it any influences, no, illustration, lighting, materials, photographic styles. Let me see, let's just do photography. And y'all know how amazing this is right now. And again, there's where it is. And artist influence, who do you want it to look like? I don't see anybody in there I want. So techniques, medium, I really only want photographs. So I'm gonna just leave it where it is. So I'm gonna hit it and just know this is text coming to life. You can do the same thing with video. We'll talk about that next week. Literally, you name it, and we'll be able to correct. So watch this, it's creating. These are not photographs, it's creating these. So this is AI. So these are not photographs. And there we go. That's not a photograph. So oh, look, see, these are the type of things you're not gonna, there's mistakes, that kind of thing. The leash isn't attached. I think I said reading a book. I don't remember, but
the newspaper, I think you said.
oh yeah,
And there's the leg looks like something's going on with the behind leg.
yes. So know this kind of thing. We're working with imperfect,
With
apps.
the little editing you could buy.
Yeah. So I think anybody else have a question? Because maybe we can just do one or two more. I want to see one thing that I wanted to show you. We already went there.
Carlin says there are many options sites that essentially do the same thing. How do you know which one to choose for certain things?
So I don't, and let me explain that it's a fire hydrant, y'all. It's not just one fire hydrant, it's many. AI, because we're able to code these things and create them, I can do it myself tonight. I can create whatever, and I can have an app out in no time. But really knowing who to listen to, I'm telling you, people just get on here and they're trying to sell you this, sell you that. And it's hard to know who's really legit to listen to. So I think I follow a few streams, and I'll just tell you, this guy's one of them right here. It's called Ben's Bites. Ben does really great research. I listen to what he has to say, and I watch what's sort of coming up. Here's another one that's very interesting. This is Flow GPT. And it's a lot of different type of AI apps. We'll talk about that one. Watch this. There we go. AI apps, Flow GPT. We can put all types of things in here. You name it, there's an app for that. And just know those are some cool places. But I just watch who I'm listening to. You know, I have, as Patty mentioned, I think I'm close to 13,000 followers now that I'm teaching in this all the time and listening to some great people. And when I find people with integrity that are really doing this right, you kind of latch on and you find those communities. But know that there's a lot of fake things out there and people that sound good. It looks good on the outside, but it's not. So, you know, just operate with caution and care in it. So yeah, was there another question there? Maybe a couple more.
Someone wants to know, how can they follow you?
They can follow me. Well, number one, LinkedIn, just Stefan Youngblood. And I'm doing something really cool here. I'll show y'all really quick. Was that my mother who said that? Who is that? Like whoever it is, thank you. But you can follow me here on Prime Prompts, and I do some really cool things. I do a Zoom into AI. It's just it's literally that. And by the way, if you went into Zoom into AI, that's me. So I do a class and also a 60-minute thing. And I'm offering something really cool. There it is right there. You go up the site. I'm actually, so I do domains. I have some very pricey domains just on the high end. And I love that y'all, I own Higher Black. And when you own higher end domains, you're able to lease them out, build on them and all this. Well, I decided to price some of these things way down and give them away with a course. So I'm doing a Zoom course where I go into just how to develop these things and take a domain, take it all the way through in 1 hour. And we have some spots there for people. So I'll give you, it just comes with the course. So you do whatever you want with it. And I'm going to show you how to just build out a domain, the business plan, all the webs, just everything that you need to have that thing up into a place where you can actually we'll even do the pitch deck and the slide presentation for it. So anyway, I'm excited about that. And also make sure you go and look at this right here, 31 AI prompts. This is a really cool place to check out things for sure. And yeah, that's it. And I think this contact goes to, yeah, it goes right to me on Google. So you'll be able to find me. Anybody else? Patty, this is great. Y'all got great.
Yes, I've really enjoyed it myself. I hope everyone else has.
Yeah. Is there any?
Dr. Nicole Phillips is here.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna see if she can speak to us for a second. Dr. Nicole.
I heard some great things that Shaw is doing right now in AI. See on here.
Dr. Nicole, are you there? There she is.
Yes, I had to join as a panelist, so let's see if this.
Yes, there you are. Great.
Hey.
Thank you for coming.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It is a pleasure to be here. This was great. Thank you all for, thank you, Stefan, for sharing your knowledge. Thank you, Patty and Raleigh Score for helping us and including us in this. So thank you all for being here, all 91 participants. This is outstanding tonight. But I am Dr. Nicole Phillips. I serve as and my camera is really bad tonight, but I serve as the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center Director at Shaw University. And we are extremely excited to partner on this program and bringing AI and AI information to our community. We strive to increase the success rates of minority businesses and entrepreneurs, and workshops such as this and our partnerships help us to do that. So thank you all. Thank you for sharing this information. It's a lot of information, kind of overwhelming, but exciting at the same time. So thank you for that. We look forward to seeing you all next week.
Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate it. I talked about our relationship and how well it works for us to be partnering with Shaw. And as she said, we're going to continue this next week. Stefan is going to go a little deeper into everything, and we would like for you all to come back. And also, I am working with Dr. Nicole on some other initiatives that we're going to come up with in the fall.
Yes.
They're good. We're going to target the things that we believe you need, that you've told us that you need. So we'll be coming out with those in the coming weeks. So we'll definitely be in touch with all of you, because we know that you all like the programs that we put out, and we thank you for following us. Stefan, do you have anything else before we close tonight?
Well, I don't know. Now that Dr. Nicole said it's a lot, I want to, but I'm going to tell you one last thing, y'all. And I like for people to have the great tools that are out there. Take a look at this. It's usechatgpt.ai. There is a link right up there, but I want you to watch what it does. So I can use GPT 3.4, or let me just go back to 3.5, get that there. And I can ask it things. Let me just. So if I put in a prompt, this prompts me to either check my spelling, make it shorter, longer, change the tone. And let's just add something here. Let's write a business plan for a new women's hair care business starting in Durham, North Carolina. Now, I'm going to do something. So there you go. I want you to see what it did. That it's calling the business, where I thought I saw a name somewhere.
Glamour Locks.
There you go. Company overview and this, and it's still going at market analysis. It's still going. This is an extraordinary tool, right? This is incredible. Yo, this is seconds that it did this, but look at the revenue forecast. So I'm going to continue because it looked like it had cut off 20,000, 30 or 40,000 first year, your implementation plan, conclusion, and so on. That is absolutely amazing. So if I wanted to, I can take that same prompt, I can paraphrase it, summarize it, but what use ChatGPT AI does really well, it takes this and puts it anywhere. So any other app I'm in, it helps me. It brings a chatbot over there and lets me use it. So I can be anywhere typing, and this will show up on the screen. So it's a great tool to use, and it brings AI into all of the things that you're doing online.
Wonderful. Okay, we're going to look at the chat between now and next week, and we'll see if we can bring you more of the things that you've asked for. But Stefan's really going to show us some things a little bit deeper next week. So we hope you've signed up. If not, you can sign up from the very email that we sent you today to come to this program. But go to the Raleigh Score website. It'll be somewhere near the top under workshops. Go ahead and sign up for next week. This was great. I've certainly learned a lot. So I showed you my limited knowledge in the beginning. So I really need to get to work and experiment. There were a lot of questions here tonight where you need to just go in and just start to brainstorm, put those things in there, and just see what you get. If you all do that, maybe next week, you may be able to tell us some things.
That would be good.
Yes, if you all experiment with some of these. So this has been wonderful. Do you have anything else, Stefan, that you'd like to say about next week?
I think it's going to be mind-blowing next week. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the text-based information that we've been doing tonight. We only touched on two sort of visuals, but we're going to take it all visual next week and talk about what prompts and chat can create that's actually visual. And that's where AI was going. So just imagine this. We sort of went from November, ChatGPT came out. Wow, this is amazing. We can put stuff in and get incredible response. Then we understood how important what we put in is prompting. Then this whole new career came out called prompt engineering. And then that led to people creating AI. And now the big explosion is probably in AI. ChatGPT is just a small part of it. So AI is where we'll be next week. Y'all great. Thank you. And by the way, Patty, this stuff in this chat over here, the way people are using it, it's smart people over here who are going to be maximizing this for business. This is great.
Yes, and that's our intent for sure. Marshall, we want to thank you. Marshall is a SCORE client, and she's always so helpful when we need her. So thank you so much for coming. She'll be here next week to help us out, because when we have a group this large, we need a little extra help. So this is one of the largest classes that this chapter has ever had, and we want to thank you all for being part of it. All right, I think we can go ahead and close now, so we can, you all try these things out and come next week and let us know what you've been able to do, and we'll be getting ready for all of that. You all have a good evening. Thank you, Stefan. Thank you, Dr. Nicole, and we will see you all next week. Thank you.